Hey, good morning. Well, I won't say that this is a martial art per se. It feels like it is, but I've never had anyone teach me this like that. It actually comes from a little bit of racing that I did in autocross down at Qualcomm Stadium. Uh, there's a basic rule of thumb for using your gas and your brake. Your brake is a switch on and off, and your gas is a dial where you moderate your how much pressure you're putting on your gas. And when I was racing, I was using a pretty lightweight car. It had decent horsepower for its size, but bottom line is you want to keep your car moving. They called my car a momentum car because you want to maintain your momentum as much as possible. Anytime that you're slowing it down, you're gonna have to use a lot of energy to get to recover whatever you slow down. Ideally, you get going as fast as you can, and you stay going as fast as you absolutely can through all the turns and so on. And then when you come to a transition, regardless of how extreme it is, you want to brake in a straight line to let your tires do the most efficient job gripping the asphalt with as much surface area and creating as much friction on the ground to slow your car down. The idea, though, is you wait until the very last moment because you want to maintain the momentum as long as you can, and then you hit the brake hard for as short as you need to get to just the right speed to take your transition without oversteering or having to power up too early. A lot of timing there, but you're braking hard for as little as possible, as short a time as possible. Meanwhile, on your gas, sometimes, if you've got a clear straightaway, it's like, let's go to 10. But otherwise, it's moderating how much you're using your gas. Sometimes you're fluttering down here low, or you're just kind of adjusting along the way as you speed up because you need to set up for the next thing coming up. Anyway, I was just recalling that teaching in racing school, and I was wondering about how to apply that to our emotional lives. One of the things that had helped me when I was gauging my depression is I kept a mood chart, which was a scale of 1 to 10 every day. And even though it wasn't like, a Fitbit where I'm keeping track throughout the day, every moment, if I could come up with a single number for my day for a particular mood, whatever it is, it could even be a bodily sensation. I'm tired, I'm really fatigued, or I'm happy, I'm relaxed, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm distressed for the day. If I could come up with a single number for that, and I watch that trend over time, you have to get the longer view in order for the data to make any sense. But it especially became helpful when I was trying to dial in my medication for my depression, because my mood was pretty steady flat, but it was below a 5, and I couldn't do anything about that. I couldn't raise my mood on my own, regardless of how much exercise or food, good food I ate. There was a point where my brain just wasn't working that well. So I had to raise that up, and I did that just by following directions and moderating my brain chemistry. Anyway, that aside, I watched my moods, and I got used to kind of measuring them from a scale of 1 to 10. And what I was thinking is sometimes, we get into really heated situations. am I only capable of going to 10 with my anger? Can I only go from being totally cool to being enraged? There was a time when I was kind of that sensitive, and actually that out of touch with managing my anger. A lot of it had to do with kind of getting stressed to a point where I was living in a state of anxiety. I didn't quite realize it. My heightened anxiety was just my everyday existence, and so any trigger would just be like bam. I was like hot. But if I'm doing my job and I'm taking care of myself well enough, then I've got a pretty steady sense of peace and composure, and so I have the room within myself to be able to recognize if I'm getting more and more angry. And usually if I see myself kind of heading up that way, I can take care of myself. It's like, wow, I need to excuse myself from the situation, or I need to deflate this pressure. And I don't know exactly how that works with putting on the brakes. I guess in the example I just gave about like needing to deflate the situation, it's like I'm gonna brake as quickly as I can. I want to bring that down back to where it's peaceable and sustainable. I don't want it to just keep fluctuating up and down with intensity, because that's tiring and stressful. Anyway, that just came to mind. Brakes are switches. The gas pedal is a dial, and the most important thing that came to mind with regard to my emotions is, can I moderate my emotions? Am I aware enough to see that they are as intense as they are or not? And am I willing and able to manage that and maybe bring it down if I need to? There you go. That's about it. Have a great day.